Good morning, folks. I'm Dan. Today we're finishing up the Beverly Shear and the stand for it. I went ahead and bushed the handle up for the shear, and now we're building the stand. The stand, I just did a rough layout on the table, and I'm marking the outer dimensions to go around it. It's approximately 18 inches wide, I believe, and about 31 inches long. And here we're just marking the center line down. And we're building it out of 2-inch square tubing, which is what I normally use for most of this stuff. We're going to go ahead and lay it out. The way I'm laying out the legs is it'll be 3 legs, approximately 31 inches long. And what are they width-wise? 18 inches, I believe, is what the width is. What I initially did, this is the front leg, we're laying upside down. I've already drilled my top plate to accept the Beverly Shear, and I centered this plate up on the center line, basically, both ways, front to back, because that's about where it's going to sit. And I just used this upright, which is a piece of square tubing, just clamped to a square, framing square. I set it up there, set my angles, and that's the way I cut my angles. I still am going to have to adjust the lengths on both front and rear legs when I get everything else in place, but that's all right. I'm putting wheels into the back end, and I got a foot front of the front. So now to get the back legs done, what I did is I cut it oversized, same standard tubing, and I just took my tubing, set it up here, and this will be an outside corner approximately where that one outside leg will be. So I just set my square tubing up where I wanted to set it, basically brought it out to that angle, put a piece of tubing on the outside, mark the angle, and then I just cut it with a die grinder. So I ended up with a cut like that. So when it's installed, it's set and be welded in place approximately there. So then to lay out the other one so I get the same splay on the leg that I did, is I just laid it on my bench, took this piece of tubing out of the leg, and set it someplace here at the right angle. Maybe that was to start with. Set them to length on this end, but still not the right angle. Where are we at here? There we go. Put them together, mark this angle, turn them together one, mark the next angle on all 4 sides. So I've got a mirror image of them coming together. So now this is the first leg. I'll set it over the other way. This leg I'm just going to cut off with the die grinder. And we'll do it the same way. So. Alright, here I've just laid out the angles on the tubing for the legs, and the first one's already cut. We're just cutting the second one out here. And I just cut these with a die grinder, smooth them up with an air grinder, and then with a flap wheel to give us some nice edges. I just went ahead and laid it all out, got all 4 sides cut, and our legs are basically done there. Once I got the legs cut out for it, I went ahead and just roughly tacked them in place. And once they're there, I went ahead and measured them out to make sure I had dimensions right before I final welded them. And there again, these kind of projects are not anything that has to be super precision. You want them to be symmetrical, and you want them to be to basically what your prints are. But for a one-off thing for the home shop, it doesn't make a whole lot of difference as long as it does the job that they're intended to do. So a lot of times I think I kind of do these a little bit half-assed, but the reality is it doesn't matter. The amount of precision we use is directly related to what's required for the project. So I'm real happy with the way this came out. It's done everything it's supposed to do, and I think I'm real happy with it. Well, it actually sits relatively level before we put the feet on it. I did not anticipate it would even be close. It doesn't matter though, because it smooth everything off so it's level. Like I say, we'll add 2 inches up here for the feet on the front, and 5.5 is what the wheels are on the back. So I'll go ahead and measure it so we're level off the table. Then I can mark where we want to cut.
Here I've just got everything's been cut to length. We've had the wheels on to make sure that the wheels and the foot on to make sure that the heights are right on it and everything. And here I just welded a handle onto the front to be able to move it around a little bit easier. Just the dimensions off of this are approximately the same as the stand that Beverly offered for their shears to sit on. They had kind of a universal stand. And now we're just going to go around and smooth it all up before we put a coat of paint on it. And we'll be ready to reassemble it and see how well it works. Here I'm just reassembling the shear to the stand. I've got the wheels underneath it, and I'm just bolting it down solid. The wheels on the back are a swiveling wheel, which I didn't necessarily want, but I think I said before they're the ones that I had in stock, so they're what I put on there for them right now. It actually works pretty well. I think the stand will be a little bit more stable if they have solid wheels on the back. And it seems to move around real well. The thing about the swiveling wheels is it does move to the side a little bit, although it's not really that heavy to be able to shift it over into a tight spot anyway, but it works real well. I think I'm going to be real happy with it. It doesn't take up too much space the way it's set up. It's relatively stable. It's got a little bit of movement to it if you start horsing it around, but if you're just cutting material on it the way I intend to use it, why I think it's going to be plenty solid. Doesn't take up any bench space, and can roll it out of the way when I don't need it. So another one of those projects that's done and out of the way. If you find these videos helpful, why please hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and share the videos. And if you've got any comments, please leave them below. I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks for taking the time to watch.